Am I the scumbag for blowing up at my husband for lying to me about my sister and her baby leaving when he actually kicked her out? My sister, 20, got out of a terrible relationship and moved in with me and my husband and brought her 5-month-old son. She's dealing with a handful of issues from PPD to depression. I asked my husband if he'd be okay with her moving in, and he said absolutely. Not just this, but he was the one who picked her up and brought her home. She stayed for 2 weeks and helped around the house. My husband started complaining about the baby crying, but a newborn is expected to cry, especially at night. He said it causes him stress. Although I suggested he put on earbuds, he suddenly told me to forget it, and so I did. Last week I had to go out of town to attend a friend's funeral without my husband. He said he wanted to stay with my sister to make sure she's okay. I returned home the next day and didn't find her or her baby home. My husband said she contacted a friend in another town and wanted to move with them and left that morning. He handed me a letter he claimed was from her. This felt so odd, especially after reading the letter. I called her phone many times, but turned out my husband found it and said she must have left it behind. I was worried I had no means of contacting her to make sure she was okay. I contacted relatives, but they knew nothing. Yesterday I got a call from an unknown number and it was her. We talked, and she told me that she didn't leave on her own, but my husband kicked her out after telling her she was no longer welcome and she needed to take responsibility for her decisions. I was in shock as she explained that she's not with a friend, but at a shelter and has no money. I waited till he got home and I blew up at him. He admitted he faked the letter and hid her phone, then argued that it's his house too, and he has a say, but he shouldn't have lied to me and my sister and causing her to be homeless. He said I was being unfair and wrong to lash out at him for wanting peace in his home. I went upstairs and refused to argue anymore. I told him I'm going to pick her up tomorrow, and he said he'd change the locks while I'm gone, and I won't be allowed to bring her home. I'm thinking of going to a hotel, but he kept saying that I'm letting my sister affect our lives by prioritizing her. But there's a baby involved, my nephew, and I can't leave him homeless. I get that it's his house too, but I don't see why he's so against her staying. Edit. He returned home and we started arguing again. I couldn't take it anymore. I'm going to stay at a hotel for tonight, and I'm leaving in an hour or so. He is wanting to talk again now, but I'm incredibly overwhelmed and stressed out and need some time by myself. I don't care if he's going to change the locks or not. I'm working on meeting up with my sister as soon as possible so we can talk more openly about what happened and hopefully try to figure something out.